I bought this game essentially sight unseen after the last Nintendo Partner Showcase because I really have no self-control when it comes to video games. We start out in the city of Barcelona. This is a puzzle game where we're going to be going through a couple different cities with a couple different levels filled with puzzles. We also immediately earn our first 2 achievements, Boing for interacting with an object, and Time to Take Out the Trash for interacting with the trash can repeatedly. The game is called Is This Seat Taken? So naturally, we're going to spend all of our puzzle time trying to figure out if this is the best seat in a given location for our given character based on their specifications. With James here, he doesn't really have anything super specific he's interested in, so we can just place him down. Once we get to the next puzzle, things are clearly a little bit harder. Now we have 2 people, and one wants to sit by the window, while the other one wants to be alone. I bet the game will stay right about at this difficulty the whole way through though, so it's fine. The next puzzle introduces us to our first 2 main characters named Nat and Alexis, Nat being the one that we're actually going to follow throughout this entire game. These 2 are on their way to a new indie movie showing of Alexis's new film. Nat seems a little bit down in the dumps though, because it seems like they wanted to audition, but they just didn't have the courage. With the taxi levels all wrapped up, it's time to actually head on over to the movie theater. Obviously, as we progress through this game, they're going to continue adding more and more layers of difficulty. In this one, there are obviously quite a few more people, but we also need to place them in specific rows. Some people advertise that they want to be on their phone or talk loudly during the movie, and obviously you can't put those near people that will have a big problem with it. Once we get to the showing that Nat and Alexis are actually attending, we get into the main plot of what this story is really about. You might notice that Nat is a rhombus, a shape that doesn't really appear all that often otherwise on the screen. But this movie that Alexis was working on actually features a rhombus actor, which is kind of an inspiration to Nat, and maybe they'll catch up later at the festival. Not at all related to the main plot, but later on in the movie theater, we do learn that one type of person is somebody that refuses to take their giant cowboy hat off during the movie, which is just really funny. The cowboy hat stays on during indie films. The next level has us joining Nat and Alexis on a bus ride after the movie, and here we accidentally earn the achievement Are We There Yet? For waking up a sleeping person on the bus. The next level sees Nat and Alexis attending a concert, which is another pretty fun setting. Here we need to figure out who the members of the band are to put them on the stage. We actually don't need to worry about who plays what instrument, weirdly enough. But then other than that, we're just regularly placing people down based on if they want to dance or not. During the show, we zoom back in on Nat and Alexis, and we learn that Nat didn't have the courage to go up to that actor at the festival. But in a super not creepy way, Alexis has actually found out that that actor is filming a movie in Brussels, and also not in a super creepy way, sounds like a good time for us to follow them. Once we wrap up all of the concert puzzles, we earn 2 achievements, another level Cool for unlocking Barcelona's special level, and a tour of Barcelona for completing all 5 levels in Barcelona. Each one of the different locations has its own secret level once you complete all of the other levels. In this case, it's actually a wedding setting. The wedding is probably the coolest level we've seen thus far. Different people want to be located closer or further away from the bride and groom, and also some people have preferences about what they're actually eating at this wedding, so we need to figure all of that stuff out. Once we get the wedding all wrapped up, it's time for us to switch over to the next map, Brussels. And here we immediately run into that movie star Luca that we're trying to track down with Nat. Apparently, despite being a super big movie star, Luca's taking the bus. I guess maybe they just do things different in Brussels. We also earn the achievement Meet Luca here for viewing a scene with Luca in it. We manage to solve the puzzle and get Luca's bus moving, but unfortunately he actually gets off at the very next stop, so I guess we're not going to catch him on the bus ride. And what do you know, just a couple stops later, Nat is actually getting on the exact same bus that Luca was. And even this new person named Val seems to think that we're Luca. We say that we're actually looking for Luca, and they say, no way, I actually know where to find Luca, which seems also a little bit strange. Brussels kind of the land of stalkers, huh? And of course we earn the achievement Meet Val for viewing a scene with Val. Naturally, Val takes us to a restaurant that Luca frequents so that we can try to catch him slipping, which is, again, a little bit strange. Once the diner's a bust, Val and Nat decide to head to the movies, and honestly, it's come to seem like Val just wanted a friend after all. We don't actually spend very much time with Val. We pretty much immediately solve those puzzles and then find ourselves at the edge of a boat tour where Val informs us that Luca is actually going to be filming a movie in London now, so we need to make our way to the train station to try to catch up. And the fastest way, for some reason, is this boat tour. We successfully arrive at the train, and the people are pretty similar to the bus that we've been dealing with already, but this level also adds in some elements of Jenga where we need to get a bunch of packages onto the train as well. Nat is so lucky. The train also gets boarded by like a full kindergarten class or something. I mean, look at all of these kids. What are they doing? Once we manage to get all of the kids and all of the fishing rods packed up on the train, we earn 2 achievements: a day at the park for unlocking Brussels' special level, and a tour of Brussels for completing all 5 Brussels levels. Brussels' special level involves moving some bugs around to various lit up lampposts, and a lot of people are afraid of bugs, so you need to be pretty careful about where you're placing people. We've kind of been breezing by up to this point. I would say that this is the first kind of complicated level, so can't really complain about that. And we even earn the achievement Duck Duck Goose here for interacting with the duck that sits in the pond. This is also where I decided to call it quits on my first session, and I learned the hard lesson that even if you've progressed through a couple of the puzzles on a level, those do not get saved. If you exit out, you have to do the entire set again. Once we finally complete the park level on our second attempt, we can finally take Nat into jolly old London town. We pretty quickly get into another concert level, and I earn the achievement Make Some Noise because I got a little bit curious. What if you put somebody that wasn't in the band up on the stage, and turns out it doesn't sound very good. At this show, Nat finally manages to track down Luca. We're not gonna worry about how we managed to find Luca here. But now that Nat has the courage to talk to Luca about how Luca's an idol, being a fellow Rhombus, and really allowing Nat to see themselves up on the big stage. But Luca kind of shoots us down. He has no interest in talking to us, and no interest in being compared to us because we're not a famous movie star. Good for Val though, just keeps on smiling along. We can go cry back in the taxi home. Even after we finish the next puzzle, Nat decides to take another run at it, which is very brave in the face of Luca absolutely shutting us down, but that one doesn't really work either. Luca is not happy to meet a fan and not happy with us at all. In fact, tells us to completely leave acting as a whole. On the bus ride back home, Nat shows a little bit more bravery, deciding that we don't care what Luca thinks at all. There's actually a pretty famous acting class here in London, and we're gonna give it another go. But, you know, since we're gonna be in London, of course we've gotta pop down to the old football match and have ourselves a chippy. I'm sorry, I don't know what's come over me. The puzzle setup for the football match is realistically pretty much the same as the movie theater setup, except some people want to stand and some people want to sit instead of the phone thing. In addition to that though, you can't have people that are cheering on rival teams next to each other, and if you put people that are cheering for the same team together, they will start chanting very loudly. And if you've got some people chanting loudly when you interact with the soccer ball on the field, you'll earn the achievement You'll Never Walk Alone. Eventually we learn that Nat has found the rare breed of football fan and theater nerd, and we are attending this football match together. This new character is named Coda, somebody from our acting class, and of course we earn an achievement for meeting Coda. I absolutely hate these chanting people. I had so much trouble trying to figure out where to place different people while getting the chance to not bother people that were sensitive to loud noises. Oh man, these guys were awful to work with. After the football ends though, it's time for us to actually see what goes on inside of the acting classroom. Really only 2 familiar faces in here, but we do get rewarded for looking in the teacher's drawers as we earn the achievement Grab a Pen. You can make of that what you will. The classroom is kind of the opposite of what we've been learning otherwise throughout this game. In this level, there are characters that want to talk, but we actually can't put those characters next to each other, otherwise the teacher will get upset that everyone isn't paying attention. Once we reach the end of the semester of acting class in just 5 quick puzzles, we learn that Luca was actually in this teacher's class, and the teacher is going to recommend 2 people to attend an acting class in New York. That of course being Nat and Coda. This is kind of the plot of Legally Blonde, I think. But instead of embarking on a law career, this time we need to embark on a plane over to New York City, baby. Honestly, the airport level is probably one of my favorites. You've got a lot of people doing a lot of different things, and also people have different ticket numbers, so you need to worry about who is actually getting on the plane and who needs to sit and wait. And of course, once we manage to get Nat and Coda loaded up on the plane, we earn the achievements Night at the Museum for unlocking London's special level, and a tour of London for completing all of London's levels. There are surprisingly no special achievements linked to the Night at the Museum level, but this was another pretty cool idea. You've got different artifacts from different cultures that you need to place down into the museum displays. Some people want to be the main attraction, and some people just want to sit to the side. Once we head over to New York City, we step on the train, and we get introduced to a new mechanic that Europe has never heard of. The air conditioning machine is a wild new invention that will help our hot passengers cool down. After our quick train ride, we get introduced to our new acting class here in New York City. The teacher informs us that we're going to be working on a big project. We need to get into groups of 3 and produce a short film, with the best one being shown off at a major film festival. The special thing about the classroom levels is that some people want help, some people want to help, some people cheat, and some people hate being cheated on. So there is once again quite a bit of finagling that goes on trying to get these different types of people away from each other. It's been a little bit of a problem for us trying to find a third member for our group since we only came in as a pair. But things start to turn around for us when we meet Drew, our third musketeer, who is the final main character to be introduced, and we earn the achievement for meeting him. Naturally, the first place that we want to go while working on our new short film is a little boat tour. And it just happens that Luca is also going on this boat tour as well. It turns out that Luca actually remembers us and is very, very apologetic about the way they spoke to us. They've had a complete change of heart, they were just having a bad day. And they inform us that if we ever need anything from them, they are happy to make it up to us, which gives Nat an idea. Our next scene is kind of a shocking jump. We're back at the airport, and Nat, Coda, and Drew are about to fly back to Brussels for the big film festival. It turns out that Nat was able to utilize that newfound friendship with Luca in order to win the film fair, which allows us to finish up here in New York as we earn the achievement First Dates for unlocking New York's special level and a tour of New York for completing all of the regular levels. I think my favorite level in the entire game is actually New York's special level First Dates. In this, we have different archetypes of people, some that dress fancy, some that have mustaches, some that are dressed like clowns, and you need to read through what their interests are to try to find their correct match. I don't know, something about this was just a lot of fun. I think there's only one solution to each puzzle, and I mean, it really wasn't super difficult, but it was fun. The Return to Barcelona is a pretty cool set of levels. These are definitely the hardest levels in the game overall, which makes a lot of sense because we're returning to the place where the game started, and these are basically all evolved versions of the puzzles that we encountered the first time around. We've been on a lot of trains in this game, so obviously we've got to run it back again. And it seems like Barcelona has actually invented air conditioning technology while we were away. And who could forget all of those sleepless nights we spent at the Barcelona WeWork. Real talk though, the Barcelona WeWork has hands. This was without a doubt the hardest level in the game for me. I was really struggling trying to get people to sit next to the items that they wanted, not be near people that were talking, have the manager's assistant near the manager, and have people sitting in front of the air conditioning if they wanted it. We even head back to another football match, but this one is a little bit somber. Nat is excited that it seems like they've finally succeeded as an actor, but they are a little bit down that they wouldn't have made it here without everyone else's help. Finally, we arrive back at that movie theater that we started the game in. Nat has a very moving speech about how they wouldn't have made it here without their friends, but that's what makes this important. They're proud of the work that they all did. People may love the movie or they may hate it, but either way is fine, as Nat has grown into a much more well-rounded rhombus. I don't know if that works. We complete the first showing of the film with a kind of almost packed house with Drew, Coda, and Nat. Nat comes back for the second showing and runs into Val and Luca. And again, we're gonna have somebody walk Luca to the car after the show, cause I'm a little bit worried about what Val's gonna do. And after all of the showings of the movie are finished, we head outside and meet a little rhombus named Nadia. Nadia is super happy to have seen another rhombus on the big screen, and that is a pretty cool full circle moment. Honestly, I really love the ending to this game. We snap a couple pictures with the fans that just saw the movie, and in the end, we line up all of our main cast of characters as we earn the achievement Mediterranean for unlocking the Final City special level, and My First Movie for completing all main story levels. So now there are only a couple things left to do. First, we need to head to the second Barcelona final secret mission level, where we immediately build a sandcastle to earn the achievement Do You Want to Build a Sandcastle? Pretty straightforward and easy there. During the actual secret level, we get another reunion between Alexis and Nat, who are going back and forth about the new film that Alexis is going to start working on. Which makes sense, it's the story that Nat just went on, going out to find themselves and then coming back to their hometown to impress everyone. And once we complete the final secret level for Barcelona, we earn the achievement Movie Star for completing all levels with a perfect score. So we have one lonely achievement remaining. We earn the achievement Whoops for going back to the wedding level and knocking over the bride and groom's bottle of wine. And now we can officially say we've done everything in Is This Seat Taken?